the thing. I gotta go, Grandma. You know, she kept talking and talking and talking. You know who I am. No, but like seriously, my grandma is like, honestly, a little bit of ignorance. I felt. She just kept talking. I was like, yeah, Grandma, that's great, but I need to go now. She's like, yeah, whatever. And she just keeps talking. Like, she doesn't even listen to me. Yeah, like, she completely ignores me. Like I feel genuinely like she ignores me. She didn't even say, like, I just want to say one more thing. She was like, she just kept talking. Like, I didn't even say anything to her. I was like, I have to go, Grandma. I said like 5 times and she even responded. I guess I blame her age, but still, I was a little bit. She almost been, no, I can't blame her age. She almost been like that. But anyway, here we are. Favorite time for Vanitas. Last thing on Friday stream here. This was of course Harem before this, right? Which was I think generally, honestly, the best episode of 1 Billion Wifes because spoilers, we actually had some kissing between girls, right? And I felt that if it's like 3 billion females are alive and 3 men, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of girl on girl in that universe, and finally it happened anime. I felt that actually was like, yeah, that makes sense. But anyway, Vanitas, I love that twist last week. I really loved it there, where of course Chloe, Rie Kugimiya, of course the Queen of Tsundere, is all like, I'm gonna kill you, and I was like, yeah, this makes sense, yeah, because I felt that the whole backstory was like, but why does she help the Charlatan for? Isn't the Charlatan a complete douchebag? Yeah, like why isn't there some kind of stalker syndrome? Like why isn't there a side for it? So that was great. She was like, no, I plan to kill you with this. I'm gonna trap you. That being said, though, obviously I kept comparing to Supernatural or whatever, right? The whole idea of like, I'm gonna like summon her, right? I'm gonna make the Charlatan become on this planet or whatever, make it real or whatever, right? It's like a weird embodied ghost thing. That to me feels very typical for like, I'm gonna summon Lucifer, right? So, you know, I'm gonna summon Lucifer like in Supernatural. And then I'm gonna kill him, and then he kills me instead, or at least he escapes. And now I was like, oh shit, I just released Lucifer. It happens like 3 times in Supernatural, and they keep doing it. Like, goddamn TV show. But I've seen it in other animes too. Yeah, you summon something, right, to defeat it or whatever, right? And that usually never works out, right? It feels like a cliche shit ever. So I do think she's gonna completely fail. So let's start watching it, right? So 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah, I think she's gonna completely fail her strategy. It's like, yeah, I'm doing it to kill it. It's basically summoning Satan, right? And this is never gonna work out. Come on, we know how this goes in every anime ever, I feel. Yeah, so she's making her her ethereal body become tangible. And I think she's gonna make her stronger, right? Or at least, I guess, reveal who she is or whatever, but still though. So here we go, because we're recapping the kind of and I felt that Vanitas like, don't do it. It's gonna go like shit, right? He was like, don't do it. So he might know it's gonna fail, or he assumes it's gonna fail, right? Yeah. Did love her smile here at the end. I was like, yeah, yeah, I will kill you now. This is a great twist here. I love this twist this episode. This is a good recap. I'll see it again. She smiles at her. Yeah, when either like, I can't do it. Goddammit. it. I can't do it. I have much more teeth. I can't do it. Goddammit. I can't do a smile. Come on, it's a good scene. Probably opening after this. Like, I will kill you. I will slay you with my own hands. Ooh. I've seen this kind of thirst. This anime that it keeps missing vampire thirst with blood. Say, yeah, I kill you. Like, if he's just trying to awe her, not killing her, yeah, let's do it. You're like, wait. Does she mean slay like sex? Is that slay for her? It's like, wait. That face you're making there doesn't feel like you're trying to kill her. No, if it's trying to seduce her. Okay, now she's. Yeah, now she looks more murderous. Okay, yeah, now she looks more murderous. Striding her. That's probably, yeah. Come on, that first face. The first 2 faces, they didn't know if they still was gonna slay her. They felt more like gonna sex her. Yeah, they was like, yeah! Come on, they were clearly doing that kind of genius, dirty, thirsty face. Yeah, Janus, but she does that thirst face. That scene looked way more, I feel, sexual. And on purpose, right? Yeah, this anime is always like this constant innuendos, right? That the vampires are drinking blood, by sucking from the poison place or whatever. It's always like innuendos of. That's not. That being said, though, vampires certainly since I was even before Twilight, but especially since Twilight, right? The whole vampire storylines and yeah, you know, sexy vampires, right? It feels most very, very, I mean, by now it feels like a very common storyline, right? When did Twilight arrive? 10 years ago, maybe? No, it has to be more. Okay, so my sister, of course, I have a baby sister, Emoto. Of course, she was really into Twilight. Yeah, I mentioned it honestly, but yeah, my sister was a massive Twilight fan, and she also loved, you know, Zac Efron and so on. Yeah, and like High School Music, yeah, and so on. That was my sister's teenage years. She had a lot of Twilight shit, so it has to be many years ago. But I do remember seeing my teenage sister being like, you know, in love. Oh, I wish I was Bella as the one. Yeah, the most freaking stereotypical 14-year-old. Oh, I wanna marry a vampire boyfriend and so on. This was here now, cute Otokonoko that I guess on the teaming up now. Yeah, they were like, okay, let's stop that shit instead. So I said last week, right? Like, why are they fighting when she's trying to do some kind of time dimensional summoning shit, right? Yeah, like that seems more accurate. Oh, okay, yeah, she's strangling her, but doesn't feel like she's gonna kill her, right? There we go. Oh yeah, with an angry face on now, not the horny face. Oh, interesting. Yeah, she's bleeding some kind of like black blood or something? Or whatever, some kind of evil Satan thing, so sure. Well, maybe it works, but I think this is gonna fail, right? It's just, oh. This anime, sometimes it's just so horror-y. Whoa, yeah. What? Here we go. Now it's gonna fail, right? I think we always built it to fail. Like, it's just way too easy for you to do it. Like, that shit's gonna explode something. Yeah, that shit's gonna explode, right? This thing is gonna explode, and it's gonna be really bad, obviously. Chloe. Yeah, Itai. Oh man, this anime is really horror sometimes. Yeah, like her eyes are bleeding black stuff or something. And it's like, yeah. It's also this anime, it's a very beautiful anime. And sometimes it's very, but it mixes beautiful scenes with, yeah, some weird horror scenes. Now she's like exploding her body. Yeah, if you kill her, it's probably gonna like, cause some goddamn dimensional rift or something. Here we go, yeah, it's probably gonna like cause some weird like releasing of Satan or... And everyone can feel it? What is the charlatan then? It's very interesting. It feels like they, by killing, you know, like what actually is she, right? The charlatan. By killing her, you might create some kind of vacuum, right? Like you kill her and now it's like all the vampires are gonna go crazy, or yeah, the vampires they get stronger, or oh, should it like a beautiful woman is that? Like a cute little blonde girl? What? There's a real form as like cute little kawaii blonde chick. Yeah, of course. She's some pretty blonde chick. Okay, that's good. Then it feels very Vanitas that the main evil girl is actually some like, yeah, kawaii little girl or something. Yeah, of course she is. That's to be a true form, right? Yeah. But yeah, she probably created some massive issues now by like... This is what I call it speak, right? She's basically created Satan now. She's releasing this like evil little girl here that's like Lucifer or something. Whoa, a nice kiss here. Man's anime and the Nendos get a cute little kiss here, yeah, little girl on girl again. Yuri Day. Oh, and then of course, oh, this anime is like, oh, a kiss, and then it's like, just like, I don't know, feeding her blood or something. Her black blood or something. Maybe, right? Kind of like a vampire kiss, right? And you make them become a vampire, but she's already a vampire, so might just make her. See, exactly, now when it's like, oh, she's released Satan. Yeah, Vanitas basically, she used to release Satan. That's the true, you know, yeah. Like, I told you guys last week, he's gonna know the actual form of Charlatan and be like, oh, she used to release Satan, so great, yeah. Like he knew that that's gonna go really crappy, right? She listens to Vanitas, this guy knows what's up, right? He also knows what's up. He honestly is, in that sense, a strange protagonist, because he seemingly always knows what's gonna happen shit, but he doesn't really tell other people, right? But yeah, so she released Satan, basically, as we all expect, right? Oh, here comes her sister, Jeanne. she might. Oh, she's gonna force she that Chloe to the end. She's gonna finally realize that they're not the same person. Yeah, and Onee-chan! Yeah, she's finally gonna realize that they're not the same person, obviously, because there are two of them. Oh, here we go. He's like, you've summoned hell to earth. Man, I told you. I told you her plan was gonna go crap. I told you guys that her plan was gonna go really crappy. So, okay, they should release Lucifer or whatever, right? And now she's summoning, like, hell to earth or something. Or maybe merging, I guess. No, it's more like she's merged the two dimensions, right? Yeah, probably. Because we have the earth dimension and we have the vampire horror dimension, right? And this change breaking, if it's like by killing her or releasing her, yeah, if she's like merging these two, these worlds, right? That would be, I'm guessing. That by releasing her, you... Oh! Why did she lose her form? Huh. Why did she abandon her sexy, cute kawaii form? Yeah, weird. Well, she was a woman at least, I guess, though, right? That we kind of hinted to a few times. Her gender. If she's a feminine. But as I said, she might be able to change gender, right? Might just be a fake, but her true form looked quite feminine. Still, though, we have a lot of pretty boys, so... But yeah, I think like merging these two worlds, right? And now there's a kind of hell dimension. Well, and then, what? The anime is so weird, but this is definitely the weird episode so far. Oh, okay. Here comes, I guess, the demon or something? The devil himself, what? That anime is weird, man. Here comes the classic, like, yeah, what's calling him? Asmodeus, I guess. Probably. And yeah, the anime is really... It jumped the hellish dimensional shark thing or something. Yeah, it's like floating islands in purple, black sky, red, and... Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where this is gonna go. But it's probably because she's trying to merge the worlds. I feel that's what's gonna happen, right? Because it's like a light world and a dark world, right? I'm thinking like Zelda here, yeah. It's like a... So, you're gonna make them become one, right? Well, that's probably in Dragon Quest that currently is going, yeah. Dragon Quest Die, I mean. Has a similar... Kind of similar take to it. It's like two different... Yeah, what do we do now, man? We're stuck in this weird... I mean, maybe if you can, like, contain the Charlatan again? You go and capture the Charlatan, like... But, I don't know, because, again, because she released herself. Like, she released that kind of pure, angelic, you know, kind of a Lucifer thing, you know, the fallen angel kind of thing, yeah. She dropped that form. Otherwise, if she was still in that like beautiful golden girl form, then I would think that if you kill her or maybe seal her, you might fix it, right? But now she's like, bam, and by herself, so, Yeah, so they're having their bromance over their headbutting, best friend headbutting. Yeah. They're having this like genius headbutting strategy of talking it through by smacking each other's face. Yeah, this is a truly a great strategy, greatest strategy moment ever. Let's keep punching each other until we become best friends again. I was like, we probably should fix that sky over there. Finally, stop fighting. Somewhat cute, but also a little ineffective. Like, yeah, I'm gonna punch you for 10 minutes, and then we... Oh yeah, now I guess all the wolves turn into demons. Like, whatever, yeah, sure. But they didn't... I feel it's like these demon wolves are the least strange thing about the episode. Yeah, these like hellhounds are the least surprised thing in this episode, right? Everything else I feel it's way more thing to be... Honestly, all those humans, no one was screaming at, you know, being like teleported to hell basically. But now they're screaming. I would be screaming like, holy shit, where am I? What is happening? Before I see the wolves. It looks like their old friend there, yeah. And why is he here? I guess he's merging the worlds, I guess? Why is their old best friend there for? I mean, yeah. Where are we at? Well, I guess those paladins are gonna like... We are also here because she like merged the planets or something? I guess so, because... Unless he was coming there to help us to follow. Or something. Yeah, and now it's gonna be like best friend, right? Best friend hug or something. Wait, no, they're like, wait, are they like, they have like airships? I guess they're flying in there. It's like behind him, yeah, he's like best friend hugging, but behind him was like airships. I guess like flying in there or something. Man, this is like a very weird episode. Yeah, I guess the paladins are like, they got some. I mean, obviously we know that the anime has, you know, flying ships, right? So yeah, I guess it's like a fleet of paladins coming in or something. Man, this episode is it's all over the place. Yeah, okay, sure. Here comes the paladins with airships. Why not? Sure. Again, doesn't feel the strangest thing happening. Yeah, he's like, yeah, come on, best bros, we can do it. My damn is so yaoi. He's, oh yeah, you got the chainsaw. I was like, that's the paladin in my taste, the chainsaw guy. Yeah, he's awesome. He's coming in with a massive chain sword or something. That's some real shit, man. He's so happy. I just want to help my friends. Oh yes. Oh god damn it. Why do I have this like a super happy bro moment? Oh, I love you. I just love you, man. Yeah. I love it when it's like, shut up, you idiots. Stop being so friendly. We have issues here. That was cute. That was cute. Okay, the wolf didn't really matter. I mean, I guess they first have to go up there, right? Because there is some kind of layered downwards thing. However this dimension works, but I think the first thing you have to do is to fly up to the center, right, of this. It does feel like it's a sphere of sorts, maybe, but certainly it'd be in the bottom of it. It's probably like flying up there somehow, right, to get to the main thing again. The castle, I guess, is the center of the circle, right, the sphere. Yeah, here we go, jumping up there. Every time I've played so many video games where you're running around this kind of hell dimension, you know, you're jumping on blocks and so on. I feel I've seen this in so many games. This kind of like, yeah, skipping on these like flying rocks in some kind of... Because it's so easy to do, right? In a video game, it's much easier to have like a black or a red background too, right? It's much simpler to have like a covered black sky in hell, right? It's much easier to work, right? So... FF Fantasy, Devil May Cry. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, this game, Neo. It's like, I think I've seen it in so many games. You know, this kind of, this, as I think, right, yeah, this I've seen in like, I don't know, 50 games. It feels like one of the most common, I feel, stages in video games. But it's because it's so cheap to do. They are very cheap to produce, right? All the what's called, the skybox is super cheap to do. Yeah, it's simple to do the skybox, isn't it? Low budget stages, truly. Wait, the wolf was like shaking? Yeah, the demon hound wolf thing was like, maybe they can't die. Oh no, they can like merge, of course. I'm sorry, I'm a noob. I was like, maybe they can't die. No, but they can morph or fuse something. My mind was way too simple. I was like, they probably can revive, like zombies probably. No. They are some kind of goddamn abomination or horror fusion. Yeah, zombie hellhounds. That's way too simplistic. No, they're gonna have some freaking horror discussion hentai fusion. Okay, yeah, okay. Now I see. Yeah, okay. That made more sense. So I'm sorry for being so simple-minded, thinking that it's just gonna be like a, a zombie dog, right? Yeah. I feel very simple-minded there. Of course not. No. That's way too simplistic. Okay, what happened now then? We're getting Jean Power Vision? Janne! I think so. Just laying on the ground there. Flashback time. Am I you? Yeah, it's like sudden Jean. Yeah, it's like straight up Power Vision Jean here. Oh no, it's like little beggar Janne, I guess. So she was like living on the street or something. Probably abandoned by her parents for being a vampire and so on, right? Yeah. her actual parents, not like the adopted. It's big. It's pretty cute though, running around in the tree there. Yeah, like he's doing the circles that were there. But I guess she's picked up by. Yeah, not so happy here. Oh yeah. She calls their parents, of course, because they kinda. Oh, they're gonna die! Oh, of course they are! Oh, I was like, what? What? I was like, oh, yeah, I was gonna say that this probably gonna go bad. It was like, oh, they burned on the stake or something. What? That went way too fast, man. I used to introduce them. Mom and dad, bam, you're dead. God damn it. They just introduced them. They were like a minute ago. Like, less than a minute ago. Oh, no, what's happening now then? She's stuck in some kind of. Yeah, back to this candle shit. Man, this is gonna go brutal, man. This anime, we had the head scene, right? Yeah, this is gonna be even worse, right? It's probably gonna or something. I can feel it's gonna be like, they're gonna like lay on that. Her parents is gonna burn on the stake there, right? They're gonna, yeah, if the parents burning on the stake is the first thing that happens, we know it's gonna get worse, right? Yeah, I'm just like, shit, this is gonna get worse, because if the parents burn on the stake, that was the intro for flashback, right? Like, she's living on the ground, on the streets, say about this too, then they immediately get, executed after that, yeah. If that's like the minimum thing, it's gonna be even worse, right? That is not gonna be the top of the flashback, right? It's gonna go upper. So this is when, of course, her sister jumps down to protect her, kinda, right? Because they wanna fight her and so on. Yeah, so having the little sister flashbacks. And the candle is probably Ruthven. It's gonna be Lord Ruthven, right? The candle guy, yeah, come on. Who else gonna be he's the main antagonist, who else gonna be the candle? And then she jumps. But she knows she's alive now, though. She did it before too, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, almost a traumatic experience. Sister jumping off the cliff there. But she knows she survived, though. Hasn't she known it for a while that she did survive? I mean, she's a vampire, right? So hasn't she known that at least for a bit now? See, I'm calling it. It's gonna get odd, right? Because now it's gonna get even worse. Killing her parents on the stake. That's like level 1, right? This anime. I feel they're gonna have to get something worse, right? Like having to eat her parents. See, I call it. That's gonna be some weird PoV shit here gonna happen, right? It's gonna be some weird, like getting awed by the shot or something. It is gonna be a dead face, like clear some weird PoV vision of, yeah, some kind of implication that she got awed by the shot, and that is Ruthven, so he maybe did something. She cut his face. Yeah, so. He was trying to awe her, like some or something. See, I think he knew it, man, because if you burn the past on the stake, right, we have to get it worse, right? Yeah, it has to become worse, right? See, she gets it like oh yeah, so I guess Ruthven is heavily implied to have assaulted her, yeah. So that just feels I don't know. I felt like it's gonna be that shit, right? Because yeah, the murder shit of her parents, like it's gonna be worse. We're gonna have some scene where she gets abused in the basement, right? We have to go up there. We have to make Jean's laugh even worse. And now it's like, I guess, Kid Jean in some kind of mental prison. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I honestly thought it was gonna be, but it looked pretty bad. And she clearly, scratched his face, right? Because trying to, I don't know. It's clearly implied he was trying to get with her, right? But also like maybe she blocked him. Yeah, I'm gonna think that. He was trying to awe her, and then she scratched his face, and he stopped. Right, I'm gonna think that, yeah, like he didn't manage to go through with it, but it felt like it's kind of like up in arms. You kind of saw her being mentally locked out for a few days or something, or X time, right, before it happened anyway. So he might have abused her earlier too as well, right? So it's kind of like, but yeah, damn it. Well, I'm not thinking her sister might come and save her. She's having this mental breakdown, but I'm thinking that maybe, Onee-chan, Chloe is there, right? Oh, Vanita. Oh, boyfriend though? Maybe. Here I'm like, maybe her sister could save her. It's like, here I'm like, maybe she could be saved by her sister. Like, no, it's gonna be your boyfriend coming like, hey, Janne. Gotta shave her face, right? But, I don't know. Heavily implied also in there. PoV too, right? Lying in the bed, staring up into the man mounting. Yeah. That was This anime is like effed up, man. Sometimes they have. They said earlier too, right? Like, like the first part of the episode, you know, it goes from this like, oh, bam, it's like at that scene. He's just strangling her head. It's like, you know, blood is, her eyes are like exploding or something. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, this happened there. But I mean, earlier, of course, the one, or part one, whatever you call it, right? You know what I mean? The last, before last year, it was the same thing with the head scene, right? I don't think it was like the worst. I mean, obviously, I've read Berserk so like that, so obviously I've seen way worse, right? Don't get me wrong. But the way this anime does it, it definitely has that shock appeal, right? Because in Berserk, when they have that, obviously I'm thinking about spoilers here, one of the R scenes, in many R scenes in Berserk, okay, whatever. You know what I mean, the special big one, right? The main characters, whatever, yeah, you know what I mean, the biggest one, the big one right there. In Berserk, it's a very brutal visual scene, but at the same time, you're not surprised, right? Because the build-up is like, I'm summoning demons, she's gonna go down, it's gonna go hentai, right, you know? It's like a very, very like, this is gonna go hentai now. It's very, very obvious it's gonna happen. But in this anime, it feels a lot more like, oh, here's some talking, bam, my head flies off. Yeah, this anime is much more like, they can go from, you know, some discussion, some dialogue, and suddenly someone gets odd, or the head flies, or someone's body is exploding, or suddenly this crazy clown appears, like, hey, summoning my clown passes, and shit happens, right? It's very like, it's very horror in your face, right? It suddenly happens out of nowhere. Even though, I will say, of course, by now, episode 17, you're used to it by like, you don't know when it's gonna happen, but as soon as you see your parents getting murdered, I'm like, well, she's probably gonna get odd or, you know, abused. You're just alive, right? So she can't get murdered, but yeah, so I was thinking like, okay, her backstory can't be she got killed, obviously not. And what is the second, what is other worst thing then? When the course is getting, you know, sexually assaulted and so on, yeah. So I was like, that's gonna happen to Janne now, so certainly. Like, so in that sense, it's not as shocking, right? Because you know what anime you're dealing with. But it still just kind of happens out of nowhere, some of the scenes. I think that's something this anime does pretty well. That it's just like, where is the scene with the eyes suddenly sort of exploding? Yeah, that her blood was like, let's just go, it's in the beginning. She strangles the, here, yeah, this scene was freaking, man, horror. Suddenly it just zooms into her face, and it's like, and it's like black blood flies out of her eyes, and you're like, oh, this is what I mean, anime. You're like, oh, okay, I guess it's happening. This anime is weird, man. Okay, that scene was scary. It was scary or surprise, shock fight. But the damn parents getting burned on the stake? Oh, that shit, man. This shit. This here like, Mama, Papa, you know, you just introduced these two characters. Holy shit, this goddamn anime. You introduced these two characters. You see Janne being happy with them. It's like a 10-second scene, right? It's not even like half a minute. It's like 10 seconds. And then the very next scene is like, oh, they got burned on the stake. Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, you're like, of course they did. Like, what is that flashback? This anime is really, the author loves doing like, you know, yeah, this like surprise Pikachu face horror. No, but I mean, of course the parents are gonna get killed. I was gonna say that her parents are obviously gonna get murdered, or else it would be no sad backstory. But you know, it's like, bam, this just happens like in the next second. You're like, what? this I guess the anime is like, it's like speed running shit. Yeah, it feels. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying it's very different of it. Right? I feel it's different than most of the animes. I feel in most of the animes, you would have built up her parents, right? You would have them save her, and she would, you know, maybe cook some food with mom, right? And you build up this relationship, how she loves her mom and dad, and then we will see that they get, I don't know, maybe they are vampires or whatever, so people are gonna burn them, or they are witches or whatever, some kind of horror element, right? Because obviously it's like a vampire and manic and so on, right? So they get burned on the stake for that, and she's gonna, you know, see that and so on. But here's like, parents dead. It's I'm happy here now, but it's a goddamn shock anime. It definitely is one of the most jumpy horror animes I've seen in my life. Seriously, I did kind of predict some weird sex scene with her, and certainly, yeah. But as I said, right, after the parents got murdered, they had to be like, well, that's gonna happen to Janne, right? There has to be some etchy stuff. It has to be like a hentai scene. What else is gonna happen in the next scene, right? Basically. Where it's gonna be the next scene after that. So let's go to that. And it really has like typical, like, you know, a woman stuck in a sex dungeon kind of feel to it. We see your eyes completely blanked out. We see her crying in the bedroom. Yeah, it really has a typical like sex assault scene, right? You know, more or less. Yeah, it has all the typical scenes there. And it's like PoV vision, right? I mean, keep seeing her staring into, I think, obviously the Lord Ruthven's candle shit, right? And then she's, you know, yeah, then she's like lying on the bed, you know, looking all dead and like depressed, or, you know, a lot of victims when they get, you know, especially if it happens more than once, right? A lot of them is soon out, right? They use soon out. They just like nothing happens, right? They can't think of something else, yeah. She definitely gives off that look that she's just like zoning out. But that also could be after she, of course, believes that the sister died, though. So, yeah, it's a little... I mean, I would say it isn't actually implied. It's hard to say. In one way, the scene is like, okay, she's getting like assaulted every night in the dungeon, or maybe she's depressed because sister died, Lucifer. But then you get this scene and you see the charlatan that is actually Lord Ruthven, then, right? You know, getting up in the bed and touching her. So you're like, yeah, okay. Of course, they don't show anything, but you know, of course, the anime doesn't actually show you him actually going in there, right? But it's like, yeah, he gets up in the bed and like, you know, so, and then the next thing, of course, she's like, catch his face, right? But again, we don't know what he did before that, right? It really felt like it's heavily implied that she, that Ruthven, ordered her, certainly. I will say this thing though. I don't know. To not spoil too much, but I will do one spoiler here, but the anime, no one cares about, okay? But it always comes back to this anime, honestly, in my opinion. So, I had this channel, it was very new. I had like 100 subscribers, whatever. Like one of my first animes I feel like I can react to was Grand Crest, okay? So I'm gonna spoil Grand Crest for you. Obviously, I'm gonna have an R scene because of the context here. But it still comes back to that scene. I've seen so many animes in my life. I've seen like, you know, 3,000, I don't know. I've seen thousands of animes, right? And so on. And I still think that, ignoring like Berserk and like these like classic seinen shows, Kite and so on, it's old school shows. But like, looking at any shows released in the last 10 years or so, I still think the R scene in Grand Crest is the worst one I've seen so far. In the last 10 or so years. We have like Goblin Slayer and so on. But no, like Grand Crest is so weird because, like I said, yeah, Grand Crest is, this scene's kind of similar. It's like a PoW vision, right? You see in her eyes how it looks and so on. But in that anime, it just goes full on it. Yeah? In that anime, when this scene happens, right, in Grand Crest, this is the honest thing we get here, right? You see this thing, and the next scene, he's bleeding on the face, right? And he's like, get off me, you perv, and so on, yeah. And we don't know exactly what happened, right? But in Grand Crest, you actually you see the whole scene from her vision. That is the two before a loop, again. If you haven't seen Grand Crest, it's a very good anime. But that R scene, I think, is the worst one I've seen in 10 years. Because, yeah, I haven't seen a single anime that I have reacted to that I think is a worse it's like sex scene than that anime, right? Because holy shit, you keep seeing her from her power vision, and the scene is like minutes long. It's like several minutes. I don't know exactly how long, but like, it's like 3 minutes, 4 minutes in. And it keeps going, and you're like, holy shit. And it's like, she has to like send her body to this bastard, right? And she's like, we're gonna do it. And he's like, I want to do it here in the mud or something on this cliff. And she's like, take off her clothes and lay down. And then she's like, I'm a virgin. He's like, that's even better. Something. It's like the worst shit ever. And the weirdest thing with that anime is that just before that scene, the two main characters also have an ecchi, you know, intercourse scene. But that's censored. Yeah. So you're like, typical anime. Censoring the OPPAI, and you don't actually see, you know, anything. Okay, the kissing, you know, and it fades out, and you know, yeah, very typical anime. Next scene is like PoW Vision R. You're like, what? So this scene, I guess I'm like, you know, broken inside because I've seen worse, right? But certainly, yeah, it comes off at the Ruthven. Yeah, but we see this face, man. We see this, the next face, where she's lying in the bed. She just, yeah, this face. It's almost kind of the worst. Because after you see him mount her, you see her, just her dead face between like, yeah, just zoning out completely, right? So, yeah, heavily implied getting, of course. She's just like, you know, her mind is like elsewhere. But then, of course, you see that goddamn bastard with her, yeah, getting, you know, scratching his face and implied it. But if it's like Charlatan is another person, right? Yeah, so was it they're both doing her or something? It also could be that she's just dreaming about the Charlatan, but that's him and so on. They're also teaming, they're also on the same side, right? Yeah, it's just weird. Maybe the same person anyway. And certainly releasing, let's talk about something less ecchi, I guess, less hentai. And let's go to the Kawaii Satan. Lucifer is released. And it's like Satan or something. Yeah. So I was right, of course, in that last week. It felt pretty obvious, though, that of course, doing this, I'm gonna release Satan to fight Satan and kill her. It's like, yeah, it's not gonna go that way. Yeah, no, you said you created like a hell dimension, and Satan is free or something, and Satan is a cute woman because it's Vanitas. Of course, Satan is like a very attractive blonde babe from like Sweden. Yeah, of course she is. Of course she is. I'm not surprised, right? No, that felt like exactly what I expected. I certainly expected Lucifer to be attractive. Come on, it's gonna be a female character, and it's gonna be some Bishodio babe. Like, come on, what else gonna be? I don't think Lucifer's gonna be ugly. No, Lucifer is gonna be a very attractive woman. Like, she's gonna be the sexiest character in the anime. Like, come on, it's typical. But she's really like, I think it definitely is. They still know exactly what she's right, Charlatan. But it is, of course, so they display a little bit her true form or whatever, right? Her true shape, of course. But it certainly feels heavily, I'm not saying exactly the same thing, but the whole summoning and so on felt very like, Lucifer summoning and so on. And I feel this also is a reference to that kind of idea, right? That she's like a fallen angel, right? Lucifer, fallen angel, and when she summoned her to give her a real body, she instead became an angel, right? Yeah, from going from like Satan and turning into her archangel form again. That's certainly how it felt, right? That she basically just empowered her by giving her like her angel body back, right? So it felt very Lucifer summoning, right? Very, very Lucifer. Yeah, we go from like this like fallen half-shaped demon lady, right, into her true like angelic form, right? Certainly how it felt, and of course that just made her much stronger and completely failed that strategy, right? But yeah, and then she kisses Chloe too, with some kind of black blood kiss, of course. Yeah, first she went like, oh, a sexy... Damn this anime! First it was like a sexy Yuri kiss, and then it's like, no, she's actually like feeding her some black goo or something, like an X-Files, yeah, the black goo shit or something. And now instead she's like, I don't know, making her turn into something else, or yeah, I don't know, poisoning her with her corrupted blood or something, her fallen demon blood or whatever. Yeah, it's like... it's like, what's happening? Man, that scene was great. You see somebody in her face too. But I'm just gonna find. First she looks typical. I feel Vanitas, right? Like I'm sexy. Yeah, like a sexy girl on girl kiss. Yeah, like, oh yeah, some nice Yuri, very nice. A little harem show there. Yeah, I guess earlier today, and then the next scene is like, no, she's feeding her some weird black goo blood thing. So no, it's actually the worst kiss ever. I love this scene though. This was great when she's like. Yeah, the sex. It's just a weird scene. I love how the anime makes really cool, like, I call it like landscape art. It makes really cool wallpapers, yeah. It's really cool wallpapers anime. Like, she turns into this weird angel form, right? Kisses Chloe, and then we see this black and face thing, which is like just a dark thing, and I love this kiss, how it looks on this angle, because it's not strangling her, because of course her hands are behind her back, sort of on her neck, right? But this is crushing her head instead, like crushing her head, like pressing against her head, kind of crushing it, like, and then like force kissing her, but actually like force feeding her, I guess, her like, evil blood or whatever. So yeah, I really love the scene, really interesting. Again, I think this is one of this anime really assesses, right, doing this very, very like weird looking panels, right? The same thing when I can't remember his name, but like Noah's master, right? His master that trained him and raised him. Can't remember his name now. The yellow demon guy, yeah. Kind of he stood over Noah in that scene. Also felt like, whoa, what is it? It's like covering up in this like weird reaper kind of yellow demon thing, right? Same thing there. Yeah, they have these really good panels, or I call it like really good, wallpaper scenes every now and then. I mean, every episode, but a few per episode, right? It's a great scene, yeah. Because it feels like she's kind of like obviously force kissing her, oring her, so to speak, right? Forcing her to drink her blood, and probably, of course, making her give her some new powers or whatever, certainly, or maybe controlling her, giving her demonic blood or whatever. But yeah, that was a crazy episode. We saw like Chloe getting awed by Lucifer. That felt obvious to happen. And then Jan in her flashback getting awed by, I guess, both Charlatan or not the same person, weird, and her parents getting staked immediately. That was also again. I don't know, that wasn't the worst scene I felt, but it was just so sudden that, yeah, Mama, Papa, are dead. Yeah, I was like, that scene was goddamn sudden. They lived for like 5 seconds, man. That was like death. They had a death flag. She called them Mommy and Papa. The death flag was so powerful that they have to die immediately. Shit, man. But I hope that we're gonna get some inspiration. Vanitas started to hint on, oh, she's like, oh, this is how her powers work. The Charlatan true powers, this thing, but it's a little unfortunate sense, right? We obviously, I mean, I guess no way is the real protagonist. Yeah, we are of course kind of following Vanitas, but it's definitely an anime where he's isn't like an unreliable narrator, but he certainly is a protagonist, I suppose. He's barely a protagonist, truly, because you never understand what he's doing, right? He knows so much more stuff, and certainly seen in other animes too. But definitely in this kind of level, this severity of it, I think that makes the anime, it's not unique, but definitely it's more rare to have a main character that has so much info that it never tells the viewer, yeah, until, you know, shit is happening, right? So if he has info, he basically already knows what's gonna happen. He knows the powers, he knows how they work. He's an extremely, you know, informed guy, right? That actually knows most of the stuff that's happening. So he's just telling us and Noe. So I guess Noe is more the actual protagonist, but he's more the noob that we are following, right? And Vanitas is just like telling him shit, right? Think about that. I suppose so. But anyway, guys, so of course tomorrow, Vanitas Tập Darling, best anime ever, right? Myrmonden, oh my god, it's so good. And then go check out, you know, Black Clover and so on today, right? Harem anime, has a lot of. It's finally Yuri, yeah.